They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
I wanted to think of some clever way to start this video, but honestly, what better way is there to start than just letting this game's opening do its thing? After watching this, I'm in. I'm so in. I've never been more quickly in on a game than this. We're dropped into this scene, immediately given a gun and enemies to shoot at. That's Doom done right. This game is technically a reboot, but that is a term that has grown so stale in recent years, with the entertainment industry being overrun with so many reboots, sequels, and requels. This game is so much more than a reboot. It is quite possibly the greatest reboot of a franchise ever, but it also transcends the reboot in my eyes and is more fittingly described as a reinvention. So today we're going to take a look at the elements of this game that would classify as a simple reboot, and then we'll dive into the elements that catapult this game into utter reinvention. Let's get started. In the sense of a reboot, we see a bunch of familiar elements with a new coat of paint on them, the Doomslayer armor looking fully realized in a way that we have never seen before. We see the return of our favorite weapons from the previous titles, but with them looking better than ever. We also get to have this intimate moment with each weapon as we pick it up for the first time, allowing us to get a nice look at them while also giving the weapons a moment of respect that they deserve. In a series like Doom, where there isn't much story or many characters to attach yourself to, your weapons almost become the characters in your story as the Doomslayer. So I love that they get these moments. We get our hands on a couple of new weapons in the Heavy Assault Rifle and Gauss Cannon. We also get a redesign of the Plasma Rifle that looks similar to the design from Doom 3 but more sleek. I mentioned the respect that the weapons get in this game. Well, of course there is one gun that garners more respect than the others. There's only one weapon that could call for such security, and that of course is the BFG. It looks so cool, massive in size, and with all these moving parts on it, it looks better than ever and is more powerful than ever. The enemies get respect too, with only some of them getting their own intros, but all of them getting thought and detail put into their designs. The Mancubus looks incredible and more vile than ever. Lost Souls are simple but sweet as they go back to basics, along with the Cacodemons design, which was probably for the best not sticking with the Doom 3 design. But with the Hell Knight, they built off the Doom 3 design, and I love what they came up with. The amount of detail we see in the enemy designs is astonishing. I mean, look at all this detail we get inside of a Cacodemon's mouth. Completely unnecessary, but much appreciated. There is another familiar face we see in this game.
You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility.
You admire it.
I admire its purity.
If you've watched any of my other Doom videos, you'll know that the Revenant is my favorite enemy in the franchise, and he looks great as they give us a clean look at his innards. But I will admit my favorite enemy design in Doom 2016 is actually the Baron of Hell. Someone commented on my Doom 3 video saying that Doom 3 was when the Hell Knight finally got their own design, since the Hell Knight and Baron were pretty much the same in the past games. Well, Doom 2016 is when the Baron of Hell finally gets his own design, and I love it. It's pretty simple, but I just love the classic Minotaur devil look. I kept picturing Dave Grohl as the devil in the Tenacious D movie, which gave me a chuckle. Doom Eternal goes on to spice up the Baron design a bit, but this design remains my favorite iteration of the Baron. The difference between the Baron design in Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal is almost a microcosm of the difference between those two games as a whole, with this Baron and Doom 2016 both being more streamlined and with less flair. Apart from the enemies, many hallmarks from the series make a return as well, like the fun difficulty option names I always loved, seeing your stats at the end of a level, finding secret areas in a level, finding color-coded keys to open doors that can either be opened by a keycard or a colored skull, and a wonderfully useful map that you can reveal with an auto map all at once. But the most important aspect of this reboot is the combat that makes a return in a gloriously revitalized fashion. We saw a classic Doom ambush there, and now multiple enemies coming at us at the same time with multiple tools at our disposal to take care of business. The game will throw you into chaotic situations that get your blood pumping, and that's what has always drawn me to Doom. So I mentioned that there is a reboot in this game, but there's more importantly a reinvention. We just blew through the aspects of this game that are akin of a mere reboot, and now the combat is where I would like to bridge the gap into reinvention. In my eyes, that conversation needs to start with the Glory Kill system. The Glory Kill system brings so much to this game. Not only does it provide multiple different kill animations for each enemy, it provides peak displays of gore and disgustingly vivid audio like this. It makes the Berserk power-up more satisfying than ever, with Berserk now using the glory kill animations, allowing you to string together violence like never before. It also really opens up the gameplay once you're able to upgrade it to be able to launch into a glory kill from further away. This brings Doom's fast-paced gameplay to a whole new level. But the most vital thing about the glory kill system is that it drops health when you perform a glory kill. You will frequently find yourself in situations where your back is against the wall, and getting health from a glory kill is your saving grace. You can also get an upgrade so that glory kills provide armor in addition to health. You pair this with the chainsaw, which in this game awards you with a disembowelment of every ammo type in the game, and you find yourself in your own ecosystem of carnage, where you can replenish your resources at will, providing you with a means to never shy away from a fight. And glory kills aren't the only way that the combat has been reinvented in Doom 2016. There are nuances to the combat, from something minor like imps now having charged attacks that they mix in, to the design of the pinkies where their thick skin provides armor in the front, but they have a nice meaty tail in the back that is a point of vulnerability. This is a design choice that I love, and it leads to some challenging moments in combat, particularly when you're in close quarters. There's also a variation to the Mancubus called the Cyber Mancubus that dons armor and poses a new challenge with the acid pools that it shoots at your feet, forcing you to watch your step. We have frag grenades again, like we saw in Doom 3, but we also have these siphon grenades that leech health from enemies and that I stupidly used here while at full HP. My personal favorite of the equipment slot is the hologram, though, that baits enemies into attacking it. It's always satisfying when you pull off a good hologram and are able to blindside the enemy. We also unlock mods for all the guns, which makes combat way more interesting by adding alternate fire like an exploding shot for the shotgun, a barrage of micro missiles for the assault rifle, a lock-on for the rocket launcher, and my personal favorite due to its usefulness is the heat blast for the plasma rifle. This charges up as a blue ring you can see around the crosshair that you then unleash as a wave of damage around you. These weapon mods can also all be leveled up, and so can your suit in several different areas. Shout out to the Barrels of Fun level from Doom 2, referenced here at the bottom. You can also level up your HP, armor, or max ammo in whichever order you'd like to do first, and you can equip runes that alter gameplay and can be mixed and matched. All of this combines to make the gameplay of Doom more versatile than ever and more customizable than ever, allowing players to have a unique experience. On top of this, add the ability to double jump and climb around, and you have a concoction that provides the best feeling combat in this series up until this point, or best feeling ever, depending on who you ask. Some other new additions in this game are these beautiful looking gore nests that spawn a wave of enemies when you interact with them. And going back to these runes that I mentioned earlier, these are unlocked through rune trials, which are these short challenges that start off pretty simple, like eliminate X amount of enemies before the time runs out, and then they start throwing more creative challenges at you, like throwing you into a room full of barrels with only 1 HP while also only counting kills that were caused by a barrel explosion. And then there's this trial where you're only able to walk for a few seconds after you get a kill, so not stringing together kills will leave you immobile. This was an interesting challenge that really catches you off guard since the combat in this game relies on mobility so much. We already looked at the revamped versions of old enemies, but we do also have a new enemy in this game, which is the Summoner. This is like a new rendition of the Archvile, but more elusive. We also get some boss battles which have absolutely been reinvented for this game. The first boss we face is a familiar face, but looking quite different than he has in the past. Of course, we're talking about the Cyber Demon. I love this intro, which is nothing super creative, but they just have a way of making things look so cool as he slowly raises his rocket arm at you to commence the battle. The Cyber Demon shoots rockets at you and zips around, which is nothing crazy, but that's because the real fun doesn't start until phase 2. Yeah, there's multiple phases now. We find ourselves in a new boss arena and faced with multiple new attacks. I had a lot of fun dodging attacks during this phase, or I should say trying to dodge attacks since I just got smacked in the face a couple times there. But we persevere, and what better way to end a fight than a well-earned glory kill? We face another boss later on, which is a new face this time with the gimmick of having a shield and a new arsenal of attacks to dodge. Once again, we see a second phase that raises the difficulty as we're faced with double trouble here, and then at the end of the fight we get a sweet cutscene with the fellas showing up to show respect. And last but not least, we know Doom loves robot spiders, and this is the absolute best of them, the Spider Mastermind. This was a great and challenging fight as she whips out many different attacks that made it satisfying when you strung together some dodges. As much as I enjoyed fighting this boss, I think I liked looking at it more than anything. I just love the details, like its little arms flailing around and its brain pulsating with all sorts of smoke, sparks, and lightning going on in the background. I could just watch this thing all day. And an epic glory kill to top it all off, it's just spectacular. Bravo, id Software. Next up, we have the element of Doom 2016 that I'm actually most excited to talk about, and that is the environments. This is the first glimpse you see of the outside world in this game, and it looks wonderful. In addition to sandstorms, there's also hellstorms with red lightning crackling and swirling clouds. It's worth taking a moment to soak it all in, as hell has never looked better. But of course the color palette does expand past just these orange colors here. We get to experience all sorts of environments with all sorts of colors and cool stuff to look at. The game really does go to some extremes, like Doom always has. I praised the early Doom games for keeping the environments fresh, but this game takes it to a whole new level. Obviously, a 20-something year gap between the release of Doom 1993 and Doom 2016 would inherently lead to bigger and better environments, but the worlds they crafted for this game were more beautiful than I ever imagined for Doom. And especially after seeing the level designs in Doom 3, which were beautiful in their own right but much different, I think it's safe to classify these environments as a reinvention for the franchise. This right here was my favorite area in the game. Some awesome subtle lighting in this grisly boneyard. I just had to take a stroll through this ribcage, and then we go down the hatch into the unknown until we land in a pool of blood. And once you're down there, you can admire the blood dripping down the spine and another skull you see faintly in the distance. This game has so many cool skulls. This skull's mouth opens up to reveal a passageway, and down the hatch we go again. As much as I love it, it's not all just hell and cool looking skeletons. We also get some nice tunnels. I mean, some really nice tunnels. I could watch this all day. It's mesmerizing. The UAC facilities provide some great visuals as well, as there's just stuff that's cool to look at, like these hydroponics, or who doesn't love to look at some demons floating in tanks? This room was pretty cool in itself, with this giant artifact floating in the center, and then we go down these stairs after a battle and find ourselves in a creepy church. Creepy church turns into creepy holograms, and I'm all about it. We get some other holograms elsewhere in the game showing some gruesome scenes and leading us in a direction to follow. These holograms tell a short story, and I love it. And speaking of story, this game does have a story and more cutscenes than ever seen before in the franchise. We listen to this badass robot, we watch him slow walk like a badass, we listen to him talk in his cool office with his badass voice.
For years, Olivia has kept the Helix in her private office in the Lazarus Labs.
We chase after this creepy crazy lady, she's up to no good doing crazy stuff, she turns into a monster that we fight, Robot Man isn't who we thought he was, and he whips out a badass sword that you'll see more of in the next installment, and that's the end. Now, I'm not trivializing the story like that as a criticism. Doom was just never about the story for me. It's a game that I play when I want to shut my brain off and engage in mindless violence, so I don't care to dive into the story in this video, but I enjoyed the story for what it was. We listened to a snippet of Samuel Hayden, aka the Badass Robot's excellent voice acting. Well, there's of course some other excellent audio in this game as well, like this little riff that plays when you pull a lever that sounds straight out of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Let's take a listen one more time. The sound design is incredible, as the riff echoes out into the ominous sound of the winds blowing and the subtle atmospheric music. It's no secret that the soundtrack that Mick Gordon created for this game is one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. It punches you right in the face right from the opening title. This song blew me away.
UAC accidental death and dismemberment. See Jessica and Human Resources first.
It reminds me of 9 Inch Nails, but sounds original at the same time. It's wonderful. I've never used this term before, but this area I could only describe as having a soundscape to it.
I like to create soundscapes. Imagine one instant of a song expanded to be the size of the universe.
I also love the voice acting for these lore dumps you find throughout the game.
Named him the Doomslayer.
Just badass like everything else in this game. They even made badass little action figures that you find in secret areas now, which adds secret areas to the list of reinventions as well. They also play some throwback Doom music when you pick up one of these action figures. Just listen to these sound effects real quick. That plop of the dismembered hand hitting the scanner and then sliding down, it's so good. And also added to the list of reinventions that you don't need keys to open doors anymore. You can use limbs, corpses, or even your bare hands. The last reinvention I'll mention is the platforming, saving the most divisive for last. It seems that a number of people were turned off by the platforming in this game. That is certainly something that is more of a talking point in Doom Eternal, and rightfully so. But I honestly don't mind the platforming at all in Doom 2016. There were elements of platforming in the original Doom games, despite not being able to jump, so I don't think they're doing anything sacrilegious here. I think platforming sections can be frustrating in games when it is bad platforming, but I didn't have any issues in this game as the movement and ledge grabbing feels plenty smooth to me. There's so much to this game. There's multiplayer and a map maker mode that I admittedly did not even try out. I love seeing these stats tracked in the codex of how many times you killed each enemy and how many kills you have with each weapon. I've always wished that we could pull up stats like this in real life. And I apologize, let me clear out these exclamation marks on the side. No one wants to see that. The game also provides a ton of great Easter eggs, including a Skyrim helmet that brought a smile to my face as I'm a huge Skyrim fan. There's a Doom football helmet that I did not understand the reference for until doing some research, but love the look of. And most importantly are these areas in the game that open up into a throwback level from the OG Doom games. When I stumbled upon this, I was so confused my brain hurt. It's so cool and such great fan service. They even added the old school sound effects, which makes it even better. There's so many moments in this game that made me smile. The game kept me on my toes, which I always think of as a hallmark of Doom. There's so much care and detail put into this game to the point where even the loading screens look incredible. There are aspects that I think Doom Eternal improved on greatly, but really my only complaint about Doom 2016 is that I was sad when it was over, as I just wanted to keep playing. But the game is plenty replayable, and I'll take quality over quantity every day of the week. As a consolation prize for being sad when the game is over, you do get incredible end credits with some great close-ups and the soundtrack doing work as well. Like I said at the beginning, why would I try to think of some clever way to start this video when the game provides us with an unbeatable intro? Well, the same goes for the outro. What better way to end it than admiring these visuals? If you've been watching my other videos, first off, I appreciate you, and second, I apologize for the delay on this one. I lost some time starting a new job, but I already have all the footage recorded for my Doom Eternal video, so I hope to get that video out much quicker, and then, before we know it, we'll be playing Doom the Dark Ages. And the piece de resistance, the recreation of the Doom 1993 cover. Beautiful. Alright, that's it. Adios, Doomslayers.